it's Sophie, and I'm back with another Public Lands 101 video. So now that we've covered sort of the background about our public lands, we're going to start diving into public lands management issues. And one of the biggest issues that New Mexico deals with routinely is oil and gas leasing. We have a really robust oil and gas industry that makes significant contributions to our state economy. Our primary production basins are the San Juan Basin up in the northwestern corner of our state, up here in the Four Corners region, and the Permian Basin, which is down in the southeastern corner of our state. Now, much of this leasing is conducted on public lands managed by the Bureau of Land Management, which is why it's so important that public lands users understand and participate in the process of oil and gas leasing. Now, a bit of a disclaimer before we jump in. The process of oil and gas leasing is pretty complex and is always changing, so while I can give a general overview of how it works, we really encourage people to take a look at the Bureau of Land Management website and send us any specific questions they may have about certain pieces like resource management plans or certain lease sales, etc. The BLM leasing process starts well before leases are actually sold. To determine what plots of land are eligible for development, the BLM compiles resource management plans, known as RMPs, and as of 2010, master leasing plans, known as MLPs, which act as a sort of set of guidelines for land management decisions within a certain area. And during the process of creating or changing these RMPs and MLPs, the BLM will conduct scoping meetings and have public comment periods where people can give their input on these land management decisions and guidelines. So that's step one, where people can get involved on oil and gas leasing. Once these plans are completed, the BLM will hold its lease sales, which are held 4 times a year and are rotated between the different regions that a single state office manages. Before the auction, industry representatives and the public can submit an expression of interest, which indicates that you're interested in leasing a specific plot of land. The BLM will then check its compliance and its eligibility with certain regulations before deciding whether or not it is eligible to be listed for sale. Now here's the second point at which you can get involved. The BLM will conduct environmental assessments on the plots of land to be leased and post these assessments online. They'll then open a 30-day comment period in which people can submit their input on the potential impact of leasing these lands. Once the comment period is complete, the BLM will post a notice of competitive sale 90 days before the auctions to be held. All these auctions are actually now held online, and you can find all the information about those and about public comment on the BLM's website. So as our oil and gas industry continues to endure a bust rather than a boom, many are looking to new techniques and technologies to turn industry prospects around. And while these new technologies are meant to increase efficiency within the industry, the urgency with which they've been rolled out means that we're left often unsure of their potential impacts. In this situation, we really have to take extra care to protect New Mexico's priceless landscapes. For example, oil and gas leasing has increased significantly near Chaco Canyon, a place of immense cultural significance for so many New Mexicans. And without fully understanding the impacts of these new extraction methods, we risk unintentionally harming the extensive cultural and ecological resources found there. Though developing renewable sources of energy should be our primary focus moving forward, New Mexico is nowhere near ready to abandon the oil and gas industry. Doing so would hurt families for whom this is their livelihood. Rather, as fellow stewards of our public lands, we should work collaboratively to ensure that New Mexico remains at the forefront of American energy production and plan a transition to renewable energy that doesn't leave a significant portion of our workforce unemployed. As we continue to explore an all of the above public lands energy development strategy, New Mexico faces a monumental opportunity to lead the nation's efforts to achieve American energy independence.